Good morning. So, Ms. Mink has assigned you Chapter 3, Lesson 3.1, Evolutionary History. So, we've started a new chapter, and she is assigned the warm up, Section 3, which has a simulator, and the homework. Alright, so when you open Amplify, it has several family trees for you to look at, just a couple. As you can see, it starts with the ancestor population right here in the first one. And they get split off and form two different descendant populations. So maybe they got split up into a new environment or got separated, like maybe one of them swam over like the Galapagos turtles to a new island. Think about it like they got completely split up and formed two new species. All right? And if you scroll down to the next one, you now have those first two species that you looked at that got split up, and they have now formed their own descendants of two different species. So again, these species have gotten split up and formed two new separate species. So maybe now these species have been separated. Okay. So the question is, which group of descendants species is most likely to have body structures that are the most different from the ancestor population? So I would look at the second family tree, and you want to find the populations that are further away from the ancestor population. So your options are descendant species 1 and 2, descendant species A, B, C, and D. So again, you want to look at the populations that is further away from your ancestor population right here. Alright, the second part of the warm-up has you doing which descendant species is most likely to have body structures that are the most different from descendant species B. So now you're looking at your descendant species. Let me erase this. And you're comparing which one is the most different from descendant species B. And descendant species B is right here. So which ones would be the most different? So as you can tell, it is still connected to species A, so they are closely related to each other. You want to look at descendant species 2 and how that line splits off. You want the ones that are not connected. So your options are descendant species 1, descendant species C, or descendant species A. So you want to find the one that is not connected to descendant species B. Alright, and the next one she wants you to do is Section 3, which has the evolutionary simulator. And she has right here, it wants you to make sure that you place species C, D, and E into the tree based on their shared structures. Press the new structure boxes that indicate which new structure appears on the two main tree branches. Press indicate organism type and select an option for each species. And then annotate your model for which species, for the which two species from species C, D, and E are most closely related. So let me open up the simulator. So let's go ahead and take a look. So species A. Species A is where everybody's going to start. This is the original species. So this is going to either be our common ancestor or a descendant. So remember, we're talking about the species that began everything, so that would be our ancestor. So let's go ahead and look over. As you can see, that there is no species pre-selected for you right here. So we're gonna look up here at species B. So here's our original species A, and as we can see, it does not have back legs. But now species B does have back legs. So is this one a ancestor or a descendant? Well, it's come after species A, so it would be a descendant. Just like your grandparents would be your ancestor and you would be their descendant. Our new feature would be these back legs. So I'm going to click back legs. And I matched the picture to what kind of back legs this new species has. So now the next step is we're looking at this species being split off into two new species. So they are going to be descendants because they're now coming after this species. We know that automatically they're going to be descendants. So let's look and see which species we know looks like it would be related to one with back legs, and I do not see a tail, so one with no tail and back legs. We have three options over here. Species C, which has back legs and no tail. Species D, which has a tail but no back legs. Species E, which also has back legs and has no tail. But if you notice, it has longer little arms. So let's go ahead and pick the ones that we know would be related because it has back legs. And this one has back legs. Alright, and that leaves our final species, species D. He is all by his lonesome, so he has to go over here. Now, he is not a common ancestor because he is after species A, so he would have to be a descendant. So what is new about this creature? Well, he doesn't have back legs, like the ones above it, so I'm not going to click back legs. However, he does have a tail. So I'm going to click tail. Alright. So there is your simulator walkthrough. I know some of you are having difficulty opening the simulator, so I walked through it on here. I have attached a document where I have pasted a copy of the simulator final product so that you can look at it. Alright, so back here, it says to paste a picture, upload an image, and hand in your image of your simulator. And that would finish off section 3. So section 4 is the homework. And in section 4, there are two models that she would like you to look at. Model 1 and Model 2. Okay? You are supposed to compare these models and track how they go from the ancestor population, which is E in both models, to the next generation, which is A and G in both models. This is where you're going to find the differences in descendants D, B, C, and F. So when you're looking at those, you want to look at the colored shapes. So they all have blue in common. However, If you notice, descendant A has a yellow or orange square, and its descendants should share that characteristic or that trait. G, its descendants should have a pink shape, a pink trapezoid, and its descendants should share that. So you want to find the model that shows the correct traits and how it should be shared. I have also included those pictures on your document right next to each other, a little smaller, so that you can compare which one has the correct transition sharing characteristics. So remember, G should have descendants that have the pink shape, and species A should have descendants that have the orange square. So you want to pick the model that has the correct order of descendant traits. So the question for the homework is, which model do you think is correct? Either 1 or 2. So that's what I just walked you through. So you're going to pick which model is correct, either model 1 or model 2. The second question on the homework has explain how the two trees are different and why you think the model you indicated above is correct. If you do this one before you select your other question's answer, it might help you answer that question correctly. I have put a fill in the blank. You will use each word once or letter. Take your time to fill it out. For example, it says descendant species, and then you would insert the letter. I have even put the model in there where I want you to place the model. It is 2 blanks, model 2. Model would be 1 blank, 2 would be the second blank. You can then copy and paste this into your answer after you have filled in the spaces. I am going to upload this as a PDF. However, if you contact Ms. Jones, Mr. Mesher, or myself, I can send you the doc to where you can type into it. All right, have a good day.